I showed the end zone copy. Forgive me, guys. This is all I could get in this time. So Kelsey's up here stacked on the left, and you're going to see he's going to run a fake post and then just take it back outside. The back coming across Mahomes' face takes the linebacker to the flat, and he's just wide open. And a lot of these plays, he's sitting down in zones. In other words, a lot of these plays, if you were playing with somebody else, they would continue this route to the sideline. Kelsey's got this. I think he's got this deal with Mahomes that he just kind of, hey, I'm going to get open in this area. Okay, I'm not running this route. I'm getting open in this area. We see the exit downhill again, and this is a third. I think this is like 3rd and 18, but this is a big play in the game, and you always have to wonder. I think for me, this is the worst defense in this worst scheme in existence. Okay. And I'm talking about this is like prevent, right? The 3rd down, we're going to stay at the sticks. We're playing 8 yards off. We're rushing 3. We're giving the best quarterback on the planet as much time as he wants to throw. And then we're going to let all the receivers get deep so he can run or he can make it, these underneath passes. Like it just, I know you have to do it, but for me, I'd rather watch you run the tunnel screen or, do like some kind of, and see if you can get me for 18 yards. Like I want the ball out of Mahomes, his hands as fast as possible. Because this isn't like the first time he's made that throw to Kelsey, right? Okay, well, I'm just going to keep putting it up until somebody listens. You get McDuffie out of the game, and we're back to catching. You just see the separation. The line of scrimmage is being pushed back to our linebackers. They're not coming towards the line of scrimmage, right? It's a philosophical thing, maybe with Joe Barry. Maybe he switches only when there's certain players in. But it's also certainly the style in which they want to play. And so, we finally get the guy wrapped up and he runs through the tackle. And listen, this guy's a ferocious runner, man. I mean, he's a really good player. But there's got to be a mindset of, hey, we're going against a dog this week. Like, we got to get low. We got to attack. We want him to lower his shoulder. When he lowers his shoulder, he's going for 4 more. So we might as well try to get him behind the line of scrimmage. You see here, Walker gets him wrapped. Owens is in there. Darnell Savage is coming. I mean, it's not like we don't have him wrapped up, right? But you got to get him down. Anybody that finally does. But you see how difficult he is. And the guy's a stud. Now, who's on first skit? Sometimes it's just not working. And everyone's saying, hey, we really want multiple down linemen under the 10-yard line and blah 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 blah. But we can't find a guy who's Kenny Clark's not in the right position. So literally the right guard, right tackle are like, who should I block up to Quay? This is really easy. And so the center gets up on Quay. They get an easy double, obviously, on Kenny. And they push this ball for another 5 down at they go 6 yards from the 11 down to the 5-yard line. It's just gotta get it. Gotta get it. So they end up scoring. 12-14 game. Anything's happening. Exciting. 3rd quarter. And this is one of the plays of the game. And here's all I'll say. People say, what do you think about that throw from Jordan Love and blah, blah. Listen. Instead of critiquing the back foot throw, you can't catch the damn ball if he doesn't throw it. And the thing that you got to say about this kid right now this young man, is he's trusting his eyes and he's trusting his guys. He's letting his guys go out and make plays. So he feels some pressure here from the middle. He's got to throw it off his back foot, which, by the way, he throws half his passes off his back foot. He's very comfortable doing it, right? Everyone's talking about arm angles, talking about body weight distribution. It's crazy. But he throws this thing up, and you look at here, and you're like, dude, that ball was in the air for a long time. And how this comes down in the hands of I think this is Dobbs, is incredible, but it does. And you can't make the play if you don't throw the ball. And so what happens? They show one-on-one matchup with Christian Watson. I think this is against Trent McDuffie. I could be wrong. But they go empty, right? We got a hipped off tight end to help on the outside. But we go empty, so they go man. And it's like, we have our playmakers over on the right, and you can just pick which one. And for me, this might be the throw of the year for him. I mean, this is a ridiculous throw. Christian Watson doesn't win, but he puts the ball in a place that only Christian Watson, 6'4", whatever he is, can get up. Oh, that's not McDuffie. My bad. Can get up, turn his body, kind of almost a back shoulder on the cloud route, and get up and down for it. I mean, that's a good catch. You'll see that catch again. That is it. That is a ridiculous throw in that situation. Absolutely ridiculous throw. Pacheco, we just talked about, you hold the Chiefs for 19 points. That's a big deal. Not minimizing it. Kind of trying to how do we build, right? 6.1 yards per carry. This is why the possessions were at such a premium. We're back. And we're just not, you just see it. You're not attacking. Like if I turn on the tape from last week, dudes are hitting the seam, hitting those gaps. We're dragging for another fall forward for 7 or 8. Now, this is a rookie mistake from Carl Brooks, who's been playing at high level. Now, Jawan Taylor, he allows Jawan Taylor, who has no business cutting him off by himself. He allows Jawan Taylor to cut him off by himself, so Pacheco has this lane. Now, the guard, this isn't Quay's fault. The guard's just releasing up to the second level. Now, can Quay come downhill and do a better job and blah, blah, blah? Sure. But backside, if the guard leaves and you're the 3 technique, you can't get cut off. He can't wheel on you like this. And maybe I'll watch this from the end zone copy and see something different. But that's a big play because this ends up being that, let's just scrum the hell out of this for an extra 10. And then they end up scoring the next 2 plays. So now it's 19-21. Packers go back to the basics, under center play action. And these guys are smart now. They're not biting quite as hard. I'm talking about the linebackers. They were biting hard the first half. You should have seen them last week in their game last week. Just ridiculous, okay? And you got to remember, their best linebacker, Drew Tranquil, is out of the game. So things are a little bit different. But you see now, turns his back. The replacement turns his back to the line of scrimmage, okay? Stayed there long enough, hesitated long enough. He's got to go find the crossing route. So Jordan Love just takes off, right? Because eyes are going the opposite way. Great job. This is a development maturation thing. Now, who knows if Jordan Love knows that the Kansas City Chiefs linebackers look at the wrong way, okay? What I'm telling you is the feel for this. And then right here, yeah, you can throw it to AJ, but it's why? Why risk it? AJ, go get a block. Did you go get a block? Yeah, kind of. First down. So play action. We got the tight end. You got the tight end blocking on the bottom of the screen. You'll see this a lot this game. They ran a lot of this kind of. So Zach Tom's going to block down here. Okay, so they're going K4, K5. It's like a full slide. And then they got a tight end blocking out on the edge, and then they have another tight end coming across blocking out. Now, they gave up 2 sacks on this specific pass protection because the tight end got beat, or I think Zach Tom got beat the second time. But when I say Zach Tom got beat, I say really Jordan Love will show it, makes a smart play and takes the sack. But anyways, quick out. One of the things we've been harping on as far as what he's really good at. Fantastic. Now, this is tough for big guys. This is what I was talking about earlier. Referees, everybody. Rasheed Walker does a good job of resetting his hands, pushing the guy inside. Now, Jordan feels like he has to escape, which is fine because he probably feels that pressure. But you escape out here, you're on your own. Now, can Rasheed Walker let him go a little bit earlier? Sure, absolutely. This is the toughest block for big guys when the guy leaves the pocket and you don't know. And you've done a good job getting your hands clamped up inside. You feel great about yourself. All of a sudden, the dude starts turning one way or the other. And the refs nowadays, I think, are more apt to throw this flag than ever before. This isn't necessarily a flag before because it's they know that your hands are inside the cylinder. You get a little bit of a leeway. It doesn't feel like you're getting leeway anymore. So throw away, but a 10-yard penalty. I just don't like that call. Talk about a great cover 2 beater. For those who don't know, cover 2 is too high. The corner, in very, very general cover 2 terms, the corner is going to stay in the flat and the safety's deep half. So there's this space near the sideline from 10 to 20 yards deep where if you can fire a rocket in there, you can run a quick little out or a little bend route and get open. So he inside releases, leaving that corner to sit flat and watch the tight end come out on the flat here. So he stays. And now the safety just can't get over to the 30 or 40-yard line before Jordan Love can get that play out. So cover two beater, the idea pre-snap, again, we talked about it. ID, communicate, execute. Fantastic. Now, we talked about motion, speed disorients. For me, Christian Watson's doing a good job of play speed coming across, and that allows Zach Tom and company to crash down this side of the line on this handoff. So they rock and roll this with the safeties, and you'll see the safety comes across because they're running split flow. So they ran the motion, they run the tight end across with split flow, safety comes across, and you see 20 sitting in the box here at the 41-yard line, sitting between the hashes. He's been following that tight end out. The tight end's just running split flow, cracking on 51. And now we got just a downhill run, probably one of AJ's better runs of the day for 11 yards first down. Big time. Now, here's the Chris Jones effect. I was just talking about running K4, K5. It's like a full slide. They're basically saying right here, look, Chris Jones has already beat both our guards. He's a problem. He's a real problem. So in this offense, we're not as worried about their defensive ends. So we're going to run running back, tight end, whatever, and we're going to full slide this to the right. And our running back, tight end, they can kind of take care of the outside guy. The problem is 90, Omanejo used to play for the Texans. He's a good pass rusher. So now you got Patrick Taylor on 90. That is a ridiculous mismatch that is unnecessary because 51 cannot rush against Elgin Jenkins. So even if you check down and pop back out and give himself a chance, Manning ends up getting a sack here. And it's like, what did you expect to happen? This is a tough ask, I think, for 27 Patrick Taylor to be able to block 90 on his own. That's one of those you hope they're running a second guy at him so he can take a real legitimate shot, and then the second guy cleans up, kind of like they did on the case before. See the film study here pop up. You know, he sees this look. We're talking about Keyshawn Nixon on the pick. And let me get back to it. So when you're watching film, you're seeing the top of the numbers from the outside receiver. You're seeing the split. And you start thinking, like, in your head, where have I seen this before? What's the situation? Where are we on the – okay, what do they run? So as soon as he sees this, he knows already he's going over the top. Now, they could just run the arrow out and he could catch a 3-yard pass. But they're hoping that they catch him trying to go underneath and they get to go because Nixon goes over the top, makes a fantastic – he doesn't even ID this ball until the last second. I mean, this is an absolutely phenomenal interception. Minute 57 in the game. This is the same deal. Now you get your tight end out there blocking on your end. We got step down. Chris Jones being blocked by Zach Tom. It's a mismatch. Chris Jones against anybody one-on-one is a mismatch on our team. I mean, he'll bull rush everybody. Okay. But this is a really smart play, and everyone goes, well, why is that a smart play? You took a sack. And I think it's I don't know if you call it because it's third and 6? Maybe you run the ball here when you run a draw or something, run a screen. I don't know. We haven't run a screen all day. Maybe you run a screen here. Easy for me to say now. But the fact that he took this sack is huge because there's a minute 56 left on the clock. The Chiefs have no timeouts. Okay? Now, we know that Patrick Mahomes can do with 13 seconds. We don't want to give him any more time. So now they jog out the field goal unit. Now we're down to a minute 14. So he hits the field goal. Of course, if he misses this, everything I say, everybody goes, see, he could, it wasn't a good idea. But he makes it. We're down to a minute 10. So you knock 46 seconds off the clock by taking the sack. You give Patrick Mahomes 70 seconds to do something with the football. That's a big deal. Now, the end of this game, I'm just going to call it the official takeover. This was absolutely, for both sides, this was atrocious officiating that they have to be able to review play. They have to do something here. So the first one is the obvious one. Patrick Mahomes This is in every way a legal hit. He's not out of bounds, shoulder to shoulder. Everything about that is legal. There's nothing wrong with it. And the big deal is it's 2nd and 10. They're fighting for yards. Patrick has to make himself, if he makes himself available for contact here, it's on him. If he's fighting for out of bounds and you take a shot, they'll call it. He's fighting for yards. This is an absolutely ridiculous call. Great play by 34. I mean, it's just a ridiculous call. It's just an absolutely ridiculous call. So now we got on the other side of it. This is one of the worst calls of the year. And it worked out for the Packers. This is one of the worst calls of the year. A game where you have blatant pass interference on the 4-yard line. I mean, this is just. And look, let's be honest, he probably drops it anyways. That's blatant PI. You're losing the game on that. There's a lot of different reasons you lose this game. You shouldn't be in the position if you're the Chiefs. If you're the Packers, it's like, hey, we missed a couple. They missed a couple calls on us too. But in the spotlight, to not be able to review these plays is it's absolutely atrocious. And then there's one more that's just as egregious and obvious. It doesn't have as big a consequence. But right here, there's 24 seconds left on the clock. It's 3rd and 2. They get the first down. Fair enough. Okay. We drive the ball backwards. If the ball goes back, in other words, if the running back is going away from the end zone, out of bounds, you wind the running back, the ball carrier. The clock's winding. Watch the Green Bay Packers whole bench wind the clock, wind the clock, wind the clock. And this lady, for whatever reason, stops the clock at 19 seconds. This is a monumental screw up because the time that it takes for everybody to get back to the line of scrimmage, get set up and spike the ball, 7 seconds. You're down to 12 seconds. So 12 seconds looks a lot different. They get 4 plays off in the last 19 seconds. Okay? But